Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And I consider this a Victory Monday.
Why is that?
Because we made it here on time.
That's right.
We're here. We're back in our normal time slot. 11 o'clock on Monday morning throughout the offseason. This is Mick Shots. And you know who is hard at work here at the Star in Frisco?
Who is that?
Out on a practice field right now.
Dak Prescott.
Is Dak out there right now?
He is out
that
there.
Who I saw?
He doesn't miss a day.
That's exactly right.
Man.
That's right. And there's been a lot that's transpired since we last convened.
You know, I was sitting there going, okay, so last Monday, what did we talk about? And I go, no, we did it on Thursday.
Yes, we did.
And there's
And
been a
stuff
lot since
still happens.
Thursday.
Well, I'll tell you what, I wrote on Friday. I drove home, and by the time I got home, something else had happened.
Probably Dante Fowler had happened by then.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool, bringing him back.
Yep.
Yeah. So what kind of deal did he get?
Well, since you asked,
I'll let Mickey do the
let me go to
honors.
my notes here. He ended up with a one-year deal. It was $6 million that can go to $8 million. So it was a pretty good deal for a guy coming off a 10 sacks.
10 and a half sacks
10 and a
last week
half.
for Washington.
He had 10 with the Cowboys in 2 years.
Yeah.
And then he had 10 last year.
Well, that's what they brought him there for. And he did. his
Sack
job.
specialist, right? So
Another first-round draft pick
That's
on
right.
that Dallas defense. You know how many now that the Cowboys, former first-round draft picks, the Cowboys have signed on defense in the last week?
5?
Yes, 5.
Wow, that was good.
That was good, Everson. Keep up well.
Yeah, thank you.
In fact, we taped the Blitz, which airs on Sunday night. We taped it on Thursday. And, of course, we're saying that they've got four former first-round draft picks they've signed for the defense, and it was dated by Friday night. It went up to 5. So,
But he's like, to me, he's the guy. If you're going to compare those 5, I mean, he's the guy that he hasn't fallen off. He wasn't a draft bust or anything like that.
Solomon Thomas
there
was pretty good.
now, and I like the Kenneth Murray signing.
Yes.
But and Murray has been fairly, he's been consistent throughout his time. Now, Fowler, when you look back, and I have to look up Fowler's career, he's had a dip and he's come back. He's had a resurgence.
Yeah,
here
he's trending
in the
upward.
Exactly. And because when you're in the third pick in the draft,
Yeah.
like Solomon Thomas, then the high expectations are so far up there. But I think you can kind of throw that out the window.
Yeah.
And what are they now?
Yeah.
And that's what I think for both of those guys, we are seeing here in the last couple of years them really become.
I thought Fowler did well, even though he only had 10 sacks in 2 years. I thought he played well in spurts for us 2 years ago, doing a good job. And, of course, being with Washington, it seemed like he realized his calling in life.
Well, that's right. And the other thing is, even at 10 and a half sacks last year, that's still not what you expect out of a third pick in the draft. You expect 15 sacks a year.
You expect DeMarcus Ware.
You expect Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
But I like the improvement from his last year in Dallas to his first year in Washington. I think that is a nice improvement, and I think that's him living up to his expectations.
Well, I think, and you got to look at opportunities too, because he was a part-time player here.
Part-time here.
Right?
Yeah.
He was sack man.
Yes.
That was his duty. And I don't know that he started
No.
In
not
Washington?
Here.
He had
in Washington.
No,
I thought you.
He played all 17 games, had 7 starts.
7. Okay.
He was at 564 snaps for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, it's about 56% of the plays, a little less than that. But so typically on defense, you get a little over 1,000 snaps, or on either side of the ball, you get 1,000 snaps.
Well,
and he was at 564. So
you kind of corrected me on the status of the signings that we have. Who do you look to have the most responsibility, and who are we looking for to have?
Like could potentially be a starter?
Potentially be a game changer. I mean, just for this entire team. I'm not just talking about, hey, he's just going out there and doing his job. I'm talking about the signings that we've had, those 5 signings. Who do we look at as one that we could say is going to be, we look to be the most consistent or the most to contribute to this team? If you look at those 5 signings. Well, I like Fowler. Simply, I always liked him when he was here. And the fact that I know that he went 10 sacks last year with only 7 starts, I'm looking for a lot from him.
Here's
back in a familiar place.
To answer your question, what I do on that is I follow the money.
Mm-hmm.
And so that gives you an idea of what the coaches and executives here feel like is going to make the biggest impact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so it also takes into account what position they play.
Right.
And if you look at Kenneth Murray, okay, he is due to make $7.5 million this year. He's got 1 year left on his contract. It's $7.5 million. And the shoes that he has to fill in the middle, I mean, Eric Kendricks was gone, okay? So you're looking for a middle linebacker. Overshown, we don't know when he's coming back. Mm-hmm. You've got Leofau, and you also signed Jack Sanborn, who started 3 games last year for Chicago, has been a backup linebacker in his career.
But a good
former
special
college
teams
free
guy.
agent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Murray's at 7.5.
Murray would be the only sure walk-in starter, don't you think?
Now,
Solomon Thomas.
What I look at as far as starters are concerned, because of the rotation on the defensive line, I consider Dante Fowler to be a starter, even though he's not taking the first snaps in the game.
I agree.
Because what you're going to have is you got Sam Williams and you got Dante Fowler at right defensive end, basically. I mean, you can move them around, but those are your edge guys, along with Micah.
Speaking of Sam.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Finish.
And so Fowler, as Mickey said, his base is $6 million with a chance to with incentives up to $8 million. Mm-hmm. So he's in that same ballpark as Kenneth Murray. Mm-hmm. Solomon Thomas, did you get the exact details on his
deal?
deal?
And I'm looking for where
it was announced as 2 years up to $8 million, which tells me that's probably 2 years, 5 with or
2 years,
6 with an ability to get up to 8.
And 3, if I remember correctly, wherever I wrote it down, $3 million guaranteed. So here it is: 2 years, $6 million. He got $1.5 million signing bonus, $3 million guaranteed, and the guarantee basically is his signing bonus and first year salary.
Okay.
And he's only counting 2.7 against the cap for that first year.
For 2 years, $6 million guaranteed, so that's $3 million a year.
And his position is.
He's a
defensive line.
He's a pass rusher, basically.
Okay.
As a defensive interior pass rusher. Okay. Basically is what he is. Okay. And so he comes in and he had 427 snaps last year for the Jets. So
would he be a starter here?
He's a rotational defense.
He'd be a rotational guy.
So
because Osa's the starter. You would think Mozzie
when Mozzie comes off,
yeah.
and you got Osa and Solomon side by side. Mm. Solomon also has the ability to go and rush from the end too, as would Osa. So anyway, he's in that mix right there. But okay, from a salary standpoint, you got 7.5 on Murray. You got 6 to 8 on Fowler. Yep. You got $3 million on Thomas. Okay, that's defense. Kaiir Elam is in the last year of his deal, and he's fighting for a roster spot basically, even though he's a first-round draft pick. Mm-hmm. Sanborn, as Mickey said, he's a core special teams guy, And in case something happens to a linebacker, he can start.
So we're looking at the previous three you talked.
All right. And so now go to offense. And the offensive guard they signed started 17 games for the Dolphins last year, Robert Jones. And his deal, I got it down as 1 year, $3.75 million with $2 million guaranteed, or maybe it's 3. I can't read my writing. So anyway, he's in the mix to compete to start at guard, but he may be a backup, and then we'll see what happens in the draft also. Now we get to the running backs and Javonte Williams. It's basically 1 year, $3 million. Did you get Miles Sanders' numbers?
I did.
So both of them are...
His is minimum. As a matter of fact, Miles Sanders was the veteran exception.
Okay.
So he only counts 1.16. He'll make 1.3 million.
And Javonte's 1 year, $3 million. And so you're drafting a running back. And out of all of that, you got 2 veterans along with Deuce Vaughn and whoever you draft. And Malik Davis is on the roster too. And so best man wins.
Yeah.
And rookie coming in here, the veterans probably play more early, and the rookie, works his way in.
And Sanders guarantees the minimum $167,000.
And then they also signed Paris Campbell, a wide receiver who is a former second-round draft pick who was with Philly last year and only appeared in 5 games. 6 catches out of Ohio State. He was a second-round draft pick in 2019, so he's fighting for a roster spot. They still need a number 2 wide receiver.
And the draft is looming.
Now, Brendan Cooks.
And they still have some money to play with in free agency.
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
What happened?
Right, yes.
Is Brendan still around?
He hasn't signed.
No, and Brandon Cooks would be another option in free agency.
See, and with some of those guys, the longer you wait, and all of a sudden they look up and it's April and everybody's
hadn't
going
signed with
back
anybody, right?
And it's like, well, okay, I'll just
All right, what was that offer you gave me?
take this.
2 months
And
ago?
so since we are to the wide receivers, the other thing that's happened in the last few days since we last got together, Cooper Kupp went to the Seattle Seahawks on what was announced as a 3-year, $45 million deal.
And Cooper Rush.
And that's the other thing.
And we'll get to who they lost. So here, if you're scoring at home, they re-signed 6 of their guys. They signed 10 free agents, 2 restricted free agents, 3 exclusive free agents, and brought in 2 guys on trades.
That's the information I wanted right there.
And they lost 6 guys by my count, counting Cooper Rush, DeMarcus Lawrence, Jordan Lewis, Rico Dowdle, Chauncey Golston, and Chuma Edoga. Did I miss anybody?
I liked
that was
Golston.
it.
I really did like Golston.
Golston?
Yeah,
he was a good rotational player, but he
liked
got paid by the Giants as
Yeah.
if he's going to be a starter.
Hey, man, that's what happens when you do a good job.
Right?
Right, and good for him.
Yeah.
But it's at 3 years, $19.5 million. You can't go there, and so you go with Solomon Thomas at 2 years, $6 to $8 million.
That's what happened with Dorrance Armstrong the year before. Of
course.
Nice rotation guy.
Commanders?
He did start here.
Yep.
Yeah. And they gave him like 3
And so-
years, $30 million.
And so Golston steps up, and he had increased production, increased snaps, and started a lot of games due to injuries. And so now someone else, Marshawn Nealand, whoever has to step up. Sam Williams comes back this year, hopefully healthy. And
What is the progress on Sam?
Oh, he's good.
Is he?
He's ready to go.
Okay.
I mean, he tore his in
early
August.
That's someone that we really haven't talked about, but I'll still look forward to him playing some good football.
Well,
nowadays with the technology as far as these injuries are concerned, they're coming back quicker, coming back stronger. Even an Achilles heel injury used to be a career killer. Now
Right.
it's not. So I'm hoping that he comes back and plays well because this guy was really on the tear before he got hurt.
yeah, and if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're coming back in 3 months from an Achilles.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, like he did. BS.
Well, you know, he's
So Sam Williams was going to start last year.
no doubt.
And I remember Mike Zimmer saying he'll play 70% of the snaps at defensive end.
After only playing 30% of the snaps in the previous year,
Right.
2023.
So they were really counting
He
on
had
Was that his rookie year, 2023?
no 22 was second round pick in 2022, and he basically the same number of snaps that year too. And he played 30% of the snaps and had 4.5 sacks. If you double his snaps, then you double his sacks, and he's up to 9 sacks and with 700 snaps in a season.
And I think he'll do a better job of playing the run because his deal at Ole Miss was good pass rusher, susceptible against the run. But I think that they were working on him and that they were counting on him being a starter.
I think
he looks good out there working out.
I look forward to him doing really well this year. I'd be very surprised if he did not.
As a matter of fact, when I talked to him when he was, it was October, November, or something like that, and he was finally moving around pretty well. He said, "Write this in your notes right now. I will be a player next year." I said, "Okay, I got you down."
Oh, that young spirit.
That's right.
Gotta love it.
Okay, so we touched on Dante Fowler earlier, and just let me get this out real quick because we talked about ebb and flow of his career. Now, when he was drafted top of the draft in 2015, he was injured and missed his rookie season with Jacksonville. His second year, he had 4 sacks. His third year, he had 8 sacks. He then goes from a split 2018 between Jacksonville and the Rams with 4 sacks. And then finally, in his 5th year in the league in 2019 with the Rams, started 14 games and had 11.5 sacks. Goes to Atlanta the next year, COVID year, 13 starts, only 3 sacks. Atlanta in 21, only 4.5 sacks. Comes to Dallas in 22, had 6 sacks and then 4 sacks. Dallas lets him go in free agency. Washington signs him, and he revives and gets 10.5 sacks. Now the Cowboys hope the revival continues.
He's the Everson Walls of sacks. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get his sacks no matter what. No matter what. That's not bad.
But there were a couple of they're 5 years apart where he went double-digit sacks in 2019 and then 2024.
I don't know if you call that consistency or not. I mean, he consistently gets sacks, but you know, I'm sure there were times like Atlanta where they expected more from him.
Right. I don't think that
all of 21.
Yeah, with 3 sacks and 4.5 sacks, that was a disappointment.
Yes, it was
in Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
And I think even for us here, we liked him in his role, whatever and what he was making here at the time. But 10 sacks in 2 years. Usually you let that walk out the door, and they did, and then he comes through with a 10.5 sack season, and so now he's coming back making more money this time around with Dallas. So
after making money with Washington because they had money to spend,
no doubt.
All right, now what were you going to say? You don't remember?
Paris Campbell.
Yes.
So he's had a weird career. He got drafted by the Colts, right?
Yep.
Second round?
Yes.
End
of the second round.
Ohio State, am I right?
Yes, Ohio State.
At the Combine, he ran a 4.31 40.
Mm-hmm.
What position does he play?
Wide receiver.
Okay.
6 foot 208.
And he just hasn't played much now. 1 year with the Colts, 2022, if I'm right. 63 catches for 623 yards and 3 touchdowns. That was his best year. And he got to play.
It's only 10 yards a catch, which is strange with a 4.3 guy.
But at least he had 60. At least he had
what
63.
Team was this?
With the Colts. I'm looking. Who was the quarterback for the Colts?
Knows.
Yeah, they were having problems. Yeah,
that was after
all right.
Luck, right?
They had Matt Ryan for 12 games. And that was Matt Ryan's last year, I guess, at 37 years old. He had 13 interceptions and 14 touchdown passes.
So
and
that wasn't a good Ryan year.
See, Matt Ryan's yards per attempt were 6.6. Sam Ehlinger actually started 3 games that year. By the way, Sam Ehlinger is out there in free. Nick Foles started 2 games. Anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, last year
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles started 2 games.
Wow.
yeah.
So they had 2 quarterbacks on the back end of their career, the caboose end, the way back end.
So he only was active 7 games last year with the Eagles and only played in 5. So he hasn't played very much. I don't know, fresh legs, because he was inactive the rest of those 10 games.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, one thing about that, there is some product knowledge as far as the Cowboys coaching staff is concerned, because Clayton Adams
had him with the Colts.
He was the offensive line coach for the Colts at the time in 2021 when Paris Campbell was there. So knows what kind of guy he is and so forth.
How many touchdowns did he have?
He
Because I'm thinking maybe they
in his career
him in the red zone or something.
And that season, he had 3 touchdowns. 63 catches, 623 yards, 9.9 yards a catch. The previous year, apparently he's been battling injuries in his career.
Yeah,
everyone said the signing is.
He's had one season.
So weird.
One year he had a torn MCL and PCL.
They're taking a flyer on a guy who ran a 4.3 6 years ago, and to see what he's got.
And so no drop passes, right? I mean, but just lack of.
And last year he
output.
was just fighting to catch on with the team and caught on with Philadelphia and appeared in 5 games with 6 catches.
They were pretty deep at wide receiver.
Year before he was with the Giants, had 20 catches in 12 games, 3 starts.
Well in New York with that quarterback.
Yeah, so there you go.
That's interesting.
In other words, the Cowboys still need a number 2 wide receiver.
Yes, and we keep forgetting, but I don't know what'll happen, but they can't count on Mingo being that guy, but he's kind of got something. I don't know if they can get it out of him. And I don't know that you want to say, okay, we're
going to hang our hat on this guy.
Right, right. Or you're going to say Tolbert's my second guy.
You know, I think the optimism on my part is just always, if a guy has potential and he's shown that he can do these things, he has the ability because he's been measured and put out there and assessed all this time. It's football, man. If you can play wide receiver and you run a 4.3 40, you have gone on deep passes and made big passes and big catches before. What stops you from doing that wherever you go? Because the field does not change.
Sometimes it's opportunity. And
that's true.
Like with Kevontae Turpin, because we saw Kevontae Turpin do it in college at TCU. He had natural pass catching ability, and we saw it in the spring leagues that he played in.
Right.
We've seen it in his time here.
His talent has transferred.
You got to get
wherever
past,
he's gone.
You got to get past the 5'9", 153,
right.
And put him on the field.
Oh my God!
And put him on the field.
150. I think he's up to 160 myself.
153. Wow. But if I'm, whoever these guys.
5 what?
5'9".
No, he's not.
He's not 5'8".
No, he's 5'8" and 7/8. He's 5'9". You round that off.
Yeah.
Would you round it off, Mickey?
I looked eye to eye.
That's a tiptoe, man.
I looked eye to eye with him.
Well, at the combine, or maybe it was his pro day. I don't think he was at the combine. 5'8.7", which is 5'8" and 7/8, 158.
That was the exaggeration from the UFL. He's no taller than I am.
And he's an example of what I'm talking about.
It
doesn't matter where he goes. Football is football.
But, yeah.
And he's going to play. He's going to make plays
and
no matter where he goes.
Somebody's looking at his height.
Right.
Saying, well.
But to him, he's done his part. So to me, if I've got this ability, and I guess I get so mad because I'm running the freaking 4.7, and you got these guys out here with all this talent, playing no better than me, they don't even have the ability to make the plays that they know they should make regardless. I don't care what school you come from or whatever. If you're a wide receiver, I'm going to make a play on that ball. As a wide receiver, I'm in a 4.3 40. I don't get if I'm 6 foot, 215 pounds. I'm gonna be out there making some plays. I don't care what my quarterback looks like. I don't care what my offensive line looks like. This guy, Paris Campbell? What was his stats? He had 60-something catches
in 1 year.
In 1 year. Why can't he be consistent in that regard?
And I think Bill hit it on the head. Opportunity, and we just did a conference.
He had 60-something catches.
We just did a conference call with my man Elam,
and Kyer Elam,
and he talked mostly about when they were asking him about his career and everything. He goes, "I'm looking forward to getting an opportunity. I don't think I've had the opportunity on a consistent." Now, some of that might be him not earning the opportunity,
and that there are times when your moment comes and passes.
But
you get another moment. Then
he continued to say that he just needs an opportunity.
And I'll take you back to college on Paris Campbell. He had his last year at Ohio State. He had 90 catches for 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Wonder who the quarterback was at that point.
2018, Ohio State. I'm not going to look it up.
No Fields.
That's too soon for Fields, right?
Pryor?
Not Pryor. Let me look it up.
Hurry up. We got to take a break.
Ohio State, 2018.
Pryor's way too far back, right? Pryor.
We're looking. We're still looking. I gotta find it. Dwayne Haskins was a sophomore that year.
Oh, wow.
The late Dwayne Haskins.
Wow.
And I think he was probably the starter. All right, we got much, much more to get to here on this special St. Patrick's Day edition of Mick Shots, minus the green for two of the people in this room.
That's right. But I'm representing their name alone. The Wall's name is Irish, baby.
And we're back in a moment.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Next, waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take a steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes and next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/cowboys to get started.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
The Dallas Cowboys Girl Football Flag League is here. With nearly 100 participating high schools, the Cowboys are thrilled to provide opportunities for athletes to develop their talent and foster the growth of girls flag football in the state of Texas. Find teams, view schedules, and learn more at dallascowboys.com/girlsflag.
Okay, some breaking news this morning. It applies to Everson's career.
Yes.
There's a new highest-paid cornerback in NFL history. Derek Stingley got 3 years, $90 million.
No way.
What?
$30 million a year.
Wow. Wow. Man. Impressive.
3 years, $90 million.
You want me to invoke Pat Summerall's saying?
What did he say?
We all came around too
Too
soon.
soon. Yes, we did.
Everson, do you mind letting us know what your highest salary was as a player?
600,000.
600,000.
Mm-hmm.
Here or Giants?
Here. 660, if I'm not mistaken.
So over a 3-year period, what would be like if he's getting $90 million over 3 years? Well, okay, this puts it in another perspective.
Mm-hmm.
The Players' Championship was won this morning by Rory McIlroy.
Mm-hmm.
He got he got $4.5 million for winning that tournament. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The first year of the Players' Championship in 1974, Jack Nicklaus won it and got $50,000. All right, so now put it in cornerback terms here. If you can remember that far back, over a 3-year period,
he would have.
What do you think was your max contract over any 3 years in your career, consecutive years?
That would be it. It was 1987, if I'm not mistaken, 86, 87. I had an annuity attached to it. But if you just take all of that out and just go with the bare salary, you're just talking about 3 years. In 3 years, you would just have to multiply the 600 times 3.
3 years, $1.8 million.
That's it.
And now Stingley's getting 3 years, $90 million.
Don't forget the 60. It's 660. He said
660.
Oh, so that's almost $2 million.
Ooh.
That's almost $2 million.
Okay, Gil. Okay, Gil. Okay, Gil. Here we go.
Well, I got to do the math on that. Let me see here. Okay, 660.
Right at $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
$1.98 million.
There you go.
Okay.
1.9.
All right. What have we lost here, Mickey, in the last week?
Well, I've counted 6 guys.
$1 million, man. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Everson's mind's distracted.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Spat.
They've lost 6 guys. The latest, Cooper Rush, signing with Baltimore, by the way. And he signed, get this, they signed him.
He'll never play.
2 years.
He doesn't seem like a fit there.
Not to run that offense. Right?
Well, I mean, the offense is Lamar makes the offense look different. I mean,
right, but you would.
But you want a quarterback that
so
they had
don't want
Tyler,
to change the offense when your backup comes.
They had Tyler Huntley before, and he actually made the Pro Bowl, filling in for Lamar Jackson a couple of years ago, and he's out there in free agency right now.
Interesting.
And so it's just interesting that. Anyway, Cooper got
2 years up to $6.25 million, $4.25 million guaranteed.
Wait, I heard it.
No, wait, 2 years, $6.25 million. I'm sorry. $4.25 million guaranteed, but it can be up to $12 million with play time, starts, and win incentives.
There you go. Okay, so
like if he's starter,
driving in, I was listening to Bob Papa on Sirius Radio, and he was saying it was a 2-year, $6 million deal. And no, it was announced as a 2-year, $12 million deal. But what and then he corrected himself. And so if he doesn't get in a game, it's 2 years, 6.
It'll be $4.2 million guaranteed. It said 6.25. Well, you got to be able to stay there.
So those are incentives that get it up to 12. Oh, he's got to play like he played half a season here.
Right, and he's
not going to get that.
If your backup comes in like last year's situation. and you had all the injuries you were dealing with, and you go 4-4?
Well, okay, so that's very interesting. Because it was announced as 2 years, $12 million.
Yeah.
And then from the Cowboys' perspective, okay, that's more.
They're not,
Right. But at 2 years, whatever that is,
6.25.
$6 million. I mean, that's $3 million a year.
And he wasn't making that a year. He was making less than $3 million a year.
Well, it was in the same ballpark.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
And so do you think the Cowboys were in on him or wanted him back?
Well, it sounded like, and I don't know who said it or reported it, that they were going to move on from both of their backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, and that's what it sounds.
So
with that money, it's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Because I think with what he's established here, that he would have taken that money here.
So do you think they have faith in Will Greer being a veteran backup?
I think they're looking. I mean,
why would they have faith in him?
Well, because he's here.
Yeah, he's here, but
if you look at the list of available unrestricted backup type quarterbacks right now, it's pretty slim.
Hey, you've got a quarterback. You've got a quarterback out there rehabbing, and actually, off-season workouts actually will start early for the Cowboys because they have a new coach.
Right.
Early April. You got to have somebody out there throwing the ball, and so you got to have somebody in house. And so they sign Will Greer. They pick him up late in the year, and then they sign him for this year. And you got to have somebody. So
and you need another somebody.
And you need two more somebodies.
Yeah.
And they're going to get one in the draft.
And they keep talking about drafting one. And it's like, okay, fine, but you're not going to draft some guy in the second day, third day, and he's going to be your backup quarterback. You got lucky with Dak. That ain't happening again. You better play the percentages on that one.
I got to say, Greer has never shown to have any type of consistency in his play, even in preseason. To me, he's just like the other quarterback that we had.
Well, Trey Lance is still
Trey
out
was the same way. He was the same. To me, they're
okay. So Trey Lance is still out there. Okay,
I'd rather have him back.
Well, in fact, I tweeted about this yesterday. So let me find my tweet.
I had a list of guys, and it was not anything.
Well,
nothing to brag about.
All right, here we go. These are the available backup free agent quarterbacks. So this takes Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, them out of the mix, whatever. All right. The available backup free agent quarterbacks with ties to Cowboys coaches.
With ties
to Cowboys coaches. C.J. Beathard was in Jacksonville when Schottenheimer was at Jacksonville.
Okay.
He was the offensive coordinator, and Beathard was there. Trey Lance obviously has ties to Schottenheimer. Jameis Winston, who, by the way, is visiting the Giants reportedly today, as well as Case Keenum and Tyler Huntley, have been with Ken Dorsey before. Huntley was last year played for Miami, but in the offseason and throughout training camp was with the Browns, and that's where Dorsey was. Dorsey also coached Jameis with Browns last year. And then Case Keenum, go back a few years, and he had him in Buffalo, I think.
Wasn't he here too?
Who?
Case wasn't here?
No. All right, Desmond Ridder has been let go by the Raiders, former third-round draft pick who started in Atlanta. He was in Arizona last year with Clayton Adams, who was the offensive line coach. Jeff Driscoll also was with Arizona. And Sam Ehlinger was in Indianapolis. He's a free agent, and Clayton Adams had him in Indianapolis. And then the offensive line coach, Connor Riley, was with Carson Wentz and Easton Stick at North Dakota State.
Eastern what?
So there you go. Carson Wentz is out there.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
So
here's the list. I've got the here's the full list of available free agent quarterbacks. Trey Lance, okay, from the Giants, Drew Lock and Tim Boyle. From Washington, Jeff Driscoll. From Northwestern High School in Miami, Teddy Bridgewater. He's the head coach.
Teddy Two Girls.
Let's see. Tyler Huntley, who was with the Dolphins last year. Josh Johnson, who's 39 years old, who was with Baltimore last year.
Been with 20
Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, Case Keenum, Joe Flacco. Okay, he's 40 years old. Sam Ehlinger, C.J. Beathard, Carson Wentz, Easton Stick, Aaron Rodgers, and Desmond Ridder. That's your list of unrestricted free agents or just free agents out there.
I like the Ridder. If I'm going to go.
Ridder actually played decently.
Yeah, I like him.
Now, here's the other thought. And I don't know how long you can keep your seatbelt on, but the teams that are going to take first-round quarterbacks, they're going to release somebody. So there's going to be some other quarterbacks thrown into that pool.
Here's the other thing that's going to happen, it appears, in the draft. Is it sounds like, now who knows if this is true or not, that there's 2 quarterbacks going early, and there can be some quarterbacks that you might like in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round.
This is supposed to be a weak class of quarterbacks, they said.
It's not deep, I don't think.
Well, it just depends on.
See, when you start talking like that, yeah.
It depends on what you think of Jackson Dart, right? Things like that.
Yeah.
They thought it was a weak draft when Russell Wilson was a 3rd-round draft pick of the Seahawks, and he won the Super Bowl the 2nd year. So, I mean,
he's the exception.
There's Dak Prescott, who was weak, and Dak Prescott came out.
Exception.
So,
I'm talking about the class, not just certain individuals. The class itself, according to the experts. What's that?
That's because they compare it to last year's class. And so I think the jury's out on it. We'll see.
So that's a spot the Cowboys need to fill. Now, the other guys they lost, beside Rush, DeMarcus Lawrence, Jordan Lewis, Rico Dotto, Chauncey Golston, and Chuma Doga.
That's your boy?
My boy. So now Elam said that he did play some slot was it Ohio State? Did I say it right? Where was he in college?
He's Florida.
Florida. That he said that
wrong.
He was a boundary
mispronounced Florida.
Yeah. He was a boundary guy, and he said they got injuries one year, and he had to go in and play the slot. But I don't know that he has extensive experience in the slot. And they really don't have another guy. McQuamu's not a slot corner. I'm sorry. You're not going to have a slot corner at 6'3".
He's a slot corner who covers the tight end.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So that's, and I don't know if anybody else, Josh Butler maybe can go in the slot.
And once his ACL is repaired.
Right. Yeah, I know. Another guy.
Which was a late season ACL.
Oruwariye still
a late season ACL?
It was after Thanksgiving.
Coming back.
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah. That ain't happening. So they really need somebody to go into
replace Jordan Lewis.
Yeah. DeMarcus Lawrence, he only played 4 games last year. So
had 3 sacks. That's pretty good.
Need another defensive end, probably. Who knows if this Peyton Turner can bleed a drop of blood, because he surely didn't do it with the Saints, right? But he was a first-round pick. So if, you're looking for opportunity, you got opportunity.
With 35.5-inch arms.
That's not long, is it?
No, it's very long.
Right? That's what I thought.
Mick, you put both of yours together and it reaches 35.
Who was the guy I saw playing basketball had arms down to his knees?
Hell, most of them. Come on.
Oh, it was the guy that used to be at
That's why they play basketball.
Owe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Guy's got arms forever.
Or Kentucky.
Now he's at Kentucky.
Hit the game-winning shot for the second time this year to beat OU.
Got paid more.
Yeah.
So anyway, defensive end, even though, they got Fowler back, it's still.
Can I propose a tight end for you? When we come back here on Mick Shots, there's a tight end in this draft that Everson, you just got to watch. And as someone who I respect said yesterday, any GM that passes on this guy in the draft, I'd hate to be that person. When we come back here on Mick Shots in just a moment. Plus, Everson, I need to get your thoughts on D-Law and Micah when we come back on Mick Shots.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
Kendrick Lamar and SZA are bringing the grand...
Who?
SZA.
Oh, yeah.
Are bringing the Grand National Tour to AT&T Stadium on Saturday, April 26th. Limited tickets remain. Don't miss one of the biggest shows of the year. Get your tickets today at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium. They not like us.
Wonder if they're dying in Chicago River Green.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, looky here. It's green inside.
Very nice.
Podcast studio.
Oh, that's cute.
Bill Jones with Mickey Spagnola and the old Irishman, Everson Walls.
With this, man. We should have started off.
You said you
were.
Everson came in and said he's not into St. Patrick's Day.
No.
He doesn't wear green. Then he announced that he's Irish.
Irish. Black Irish.
Uh-huh.
Just like the...
I want to know how that happened.
Hey, man, it happened. You can go throughout history, Spags. It's a long story, brother. All right. It's a long story.
All right, and
nice. I like this, Chris.
Yeah, that is very
cool.
Nice,
very nice and festive on this St. Patrick's Day. Mickey thought St. Patrick's Day was Saturday because you went. I wonder if Zeke went to the St. Patrick's Day parade this year.
Have you ever done it?
Actually, my daughters told me we did once upon a time. I don't remember.
Well, you couldn't have had fun if you brought your daughter with you.
Wow. I can imagine a little sippy cup full of some beer.
I think I went once. Yeah, it was no.
No, I never went. My brother, back before he got married, he was every year. My brother was out there on Greenville Avenue. Every year.
Drinking green beer?
Drinking green beer. That's his thing.
That reminds me of, in fact, I was in college, at O'Connell's Irish Pub in Norman, Oklahoma. Of course, it was huge on St. Patrick's Day, the green beer, and I think it was probably free green beer.
It should have been.
And we broadcast on KGOU radio. We broadcast live from the patio at O'Connell's Irish Pub. Mm-hmm. Mickey, do you remember the Schultz brothers, wrestlers at OU, Dave and Mark Schultz?
Vaguely, yes.
Yeah, and they were great wrestlers, national champion wrestlers, and they had just won the national championship.
Oh, my.
So they were celebrating. They had just gotten back in town, and we put them live on the air without any 8-second delay or anything, and there were some bombs being...
So the interviewers as well, right?
At the O'Connell's Irish Pub.
No delay.
That was the last day KGOU radio was on the air. They took the license away.
Was it because of...
No,
This was the last day.
Yeah. There was a movie about those brothers, apparently.
Yeah, Schultz brother. Yeah, and
the fox catchers.
Dave actually tragically was murdered in Pennsylvania at age 36.
What, both?
No, Schultz.
Just one of them.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my St. Patrick's Day memory.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right, let me show you a tight end that everybody's talking about in this draft. And is there any way that this guy slides to number 12 in the first round? Tyler Warren out of Penn State. We've got it on the monitor here in the studio. Everson is getting his first look at number 44 for the Penn State Nittany Lions. As I'll get my big green notebook out and give you some numbers on Tyler Warren. Last year, he won the John Mackey Award, 104 receptions for 1,233 yards and 8 touchdowns. He also carried the ball 26 times for 218 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he was 3 out of 6 throwing the football for 35 yards and a touchdown. A former high school quarterback from Mechanicsville, Virginia. Tyler Warren, 6'5.5", 256 pounds. And...
I don't think his highlights do him justice.
Yeah.
He's made a lot more plays. I've seen him play this year. He made a lot of good plays.
I don't know if and this is against SMU in the college football playoff that we're looking at. There was one play on his highlight reel where he makes a one-handed catch on the sideline, and a DB comes up trying to tackle him and just falls off of him flat on his back out of bounds.
That's not funny. I've done that before.
And then there's an exotic trick play that they ran against USC where they were in a formation.
No one covers them.
Where they were in a formation where he was lined up at center, but the center was at the end of the line of scrimmage, okay? And he had 2 wide receivers flanked out to the left, snaps the ball to the backup quarterback who throws a backwards pass to the left side to the starting quarterback. He runs downfield, catches a touchdown pass in the end zone.
Wow.
Unbelievable play.
No, you can tell he runs well against his own.
Yeah, he knew where to
He knows
stop,
exactly where to stop. Those are good plays that are set up just for him.
Got to get a better number.
But I've seen him make much better plays than what we're looking at right there.
But Tyler Warren.
Talented guy.
And the only reason I bring him up, and it was the fact it was Babe Laufenberg who texted me last night and said, I don't want to be the GM who passes on Tyler Warren in this draft.
He's one of those Swiss Army knife guys. He can do it all. He will be very instrumental in almost any special packaging that you can come up with. That's what he's going to be known for. But reminds me a lot of what's the guy from San Francisco?
Kittle.
George
Kittle.
I wanted to say Kettle. Reminds me a lot of Kittle.
The one thing that's interesting about him in college is apparently sort of a late bloomer. Now, he did convert from quarterback in high school. He was, by the way, 3-time team captain. That always registers big in the big green notebook.
Yeah.
2-time
so you got
All-State.
green?
Yep, that's right. Yep, we got our green notebook. 2-time All-State in football, 4-time All-Region in basketball, 3-time All-State in baseball also. So all-around athlete, Tyler Warren.
How tall is he?
6'5" and a half, 256.
Okay. He doesn't look 6'.
So he's Jason Witten size.
He looks smaller or bigger to you?
Small. Well, that number doesn't do him any justice. 44.
No, he's a talented kid. I've seen him play a lot.
But he's going to go in the first round?
He's going to, Mickey,
first 5?
He's going to go like top 5 picks.
No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt. Have you seen
Now last year, Brock Bowers was the tight end last year.
Right.
He had 110 catches, whatever. I mean, would have been Rookie of the Year if not for a guy named Jaden Daniels. He went 13th. And the only reason he went that low, 13th, was because there were 6 quarterbacks taken in the first 12 picks. And so if there are only 2 quarterbacks going to go early this year, we'll see, then you would think that Tyler Warren is going to be in the top 6 or 7 picks in the draft.
Can you imagine the howling that'll take place if the Cowboys take a tight end in the first round?
This isn't an ordinary tight end.
I would not mind.
Now, Penn State's Pro Day is coming up this week, and so it'll be interesting to see what he runs.
A good tight end is invaluable.
Right.
I'm sure you know that. A good tight end is a quarterback's dream.
And the other thing, Mickey, you got to consider is Jake Ferguson's in the last year of his contract.
Right.
So
good point.
A lot of times people look at what your needs are right
Jake
now.
Jake better do better.
Well, but a lot of
better do better.
And this is where this team has run into problems in the past. I mean, going back 2008, and then when they wound up having to trade for Roy Williams in the middle of the season, when they have to trade for Amari Cooper later, is you really had the need, and they have the need right now for a second wide receiver to draft. Otherwise, you're going to be in a position. I mean, they did the same thing here recently with Brandon Cooks, having to bring him in because they hadn't taken care of the wide receiver position in the draft. Tried to.
So can you go with do you go with a slot receiver, a number 2 slot receiver, or do you go with number 4?
I mean, with this guy, he can line up outside. He's athletic enough.
Are we dismissing running back all of a sudden?
Well, and then you got a deep running back draft where
I can get one in the second.
You can get one in the third and fourth too.
Can you get one that can play slot receiver?
Either.
Now you can't get one in the fourth because you don't have a fourth.
Yeah,
pick.
You're gonna have to trade.
You can, but you got some fifths you can move up.
So the running backs from Ohio State, are they first round? Can I get them on the second day?
I would think
second round.
I would think second day.
Okay.
But maybe one of them could go in the.
And either one of those running backs, are they the Swiss Army knife that this tight end is? Meaning, can they catch? Can they run? Can they block?
A lot of times,
can you put them in the slot every once in a while against a mismatch on the wide receiver?
Sometimes you don't know that until you get them in here.
That's right.
And the other part of it is, can they learn the plays quickly? You know.
What about the wide receivers from Texas?
Golden.
Mm-hmm.
They run fast. They run fast.
I think I'm going to go down there and go to their pro day.
Oh, okay. When is it?
It's next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, which is March 25th.
Yeah. I was sold on
we got
him.
Matthew Golden right here.
There he is.
Now, he has started his career at Houston.
Right.
Transferred to Texas.
All I know is he made a hell of a catch to win that game in the end zone.
Which game?
Was it the...
Bill's trying to be funny, right?
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. Every one of them.
So tell me about Matthew Golden. What do you like about him? Since we're watching him here, Mickey.
He gets open and he catches the ball, and they can't run with him. Look at this. He just ran right away from that guy.
So you would take him 12th overall?
Well, I'm asking. I don't know what else is there.
Is he from Texas?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course he is.
Didn't he made what was the overtime game they played?
Was
that the playoff game?
That was against Arizona State.
Yeah.
Your boy Scatterbo.
And it was
yeah, what about him?
that was to force overtime.
Force it overtime.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And by the way, that play was made by the quarterback.
Well,
the quarterback that everybody hates.
Yeah, that's right. That was Quinn Ewers.
The quarterback.
And it was made, that play was made before the snap, which is what I like about Quinn Ewers. Is
right.
The head on his shoulders and no one being able to read defenses and react.
I have
Can I get him
Texas
in the fourth
fans
round?
that don't like.
Oh, yeah. That's because they
crazy,
got
man.
that Arch Manning behind.
Yeah, man. This is killing
Can I
me,
get
bro.
him in the fourth?
I,
He's going before that.
you would think.
Oh, I don't have a fourth.
Yeah.
I got 3/5 to get back into the fourth.
But seriously, that touchdown pass that you're talking about against Arizona State, and this is his entire career was riding on that play right there. I mean, you cannot be in a more pressure situation than that was right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with all what you were talking about, the fans hating him, and he had to prove himself. Otherwise, Quinn Ewers was a disaster. Even though he got him to the national playoff the year before, they didn't. And he got him there again this year.
Yep.
Nobody cared. If he didn't make that pass, and what happened on it, Arizona State was showing a max blitz, and he had to bring everybody in to protect, and then and so he read it like this. And was able to max protect and get the ball out in time to his wide receiver for the touchdown.
Now, I understand the other wide receiver is Bond.
Yes.
He's faster.
He says he is.
He said it. Yeah, that's right.
He says he is. He didn't show it.
He was going to run a 4.19 and
right?
a 4.39.
Yeah, he was going to go 4.3, right?
Mm-hmm. And Matthew Golden ran a 4.29, I think.
When you have two guys like that, let them run against each other. Just let them run against each other.
Well, they'll have the opportunity next Tuesday in Austin. Is that me?
Yep, that's you.
He's admission test.
Oh, it's on here.
Me. Yeah, that is not me. You can't put that on your boy.
That's my iPad. I went to NFL.com and it started playing that.
It sounded like porn. Oh.
I wanted to point that out.
Turn this down.
That's on Matthew Golden's page on NFL.com.
Put it on Matthew.
That's good.
That sounds a little racy, boy.
That's fine. All right. Well, that does it. We're past due.
Yes, we are.
All right.
Okay. All right. And so we'll preview Texas Pro Day next week on the next edition.
Preview, because, we'll have the show before we get there.
All right. And we will chat at you next time.
And by the way, let me point something out.
Right.
Free agency's not done. Last week, Thursday, I saw grades come out.
Okay. Oh, really?
Right. And then I heard somebody on talk radio go, well, now that free agency's over with, and I'm going, what do you mean? It's been here for 2 days.
Uh-huh. I will say this, there are more signings happening more quickly this year than in past years because there's guys are realizing I just got to take this 1 year deal. Yeah. And usually all these 1 year deals we've seen in the last few days, they happen the second week.
Right.
And they're
happening
right off the bat.
So it ain't over yet.
No, it's not over with yet. And the Cowboys have had 10. I think somebody pointed out, and I didn't go look, that's the most since Plan B in 1990.
Really?
Because remember, Plan B protect so many people. And I think the Cowboys signed. They were just bringing everybody in, 15 guys.
They were bringing everybody in '89 too. So
yeah, but I think the Plan B thing, because that's how they got Novacek, James Washington.
Okay, and I've circled some free agent wide receivers out there to keep your eye on: Brandon Cooks, Keenan Allen, Tyler Lockett,
Keenan Allen would be
Amari Cooper, Alan Lazard, Stephon Diggs, and Tyler Boyd. Those are a few that are still available out there.
Well,
you like any of them?
The longer they sit, the cheaper they get.
Huh? I like 3 of those.
Which ones?
I like Diggs. I love our boy Cooks as well.
But Diggs is coming off an ACL.
Yeah, no, he got heart. He's got a lot of heart.
Okay, and who's the third one?
Oh, I forget him.
Lockett and Keenan Allen.
That wasn't like Keenan Allen.
Tyler Boyd.
Keenan Allen. Yeah. I like size. I like size along with maneuverability, and this guy's got that package.
I don't think you can handle 2 Diggs on one roster.
Oh, Mickey taking a
Maybe
dig.
one would help calm the other. they act in unison, you know.
All right, that does it. And we will shout at you next Monday at 11 a.m. on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!